Allgaier. And we're getting word now that the 6 is also headed for the garage area. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has taken it behind the wall. Parker Kligerman is also back behind the wall. So that updates you on those 2 cars while all this action continues out on the track. That's Allgaier in 8th with Stephen Wallace all over him. View back from Stephen to Denny Hamlin.
Just really amazed about how much these guys are in the throttle all the time and not rolling out. We don't see this a lot of racetracks.
Yeah, this track has so much grip, and the tire they brought here just matches up so well that they really do have a lot of grip. They can hold that throttle almost on the mat all the way around.
You know, I shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but we saw a lot of wrecks off of turn 4 last year here. And Goodyear seems like they bought this new tire back. It's got a lot more grip. And we're just not seeing the problems we saw last year off of turn 4, guys.
Well, one of the things that's happened, the track has aged some, and it has lost grip and allowed Goodyear to come back with a little softer compound, and that combination has been a lot better for the teams.
You see the 23 of Robert Richardson down low. He had a pass-through penalty for speeding on pit road. He just finally served it. That's why he is coming back up to speed. And we should tell you that Kenny Wallace brought it back out for a few laps, but he now too has taken his 28 car behind the wall and headed for the garage one more time. Battle right now between Brendan Gaughan and Justin Allgaier. These guys were duking it out for Rookie of the Year honors. Boy, I tell you what, look at Allgaier, man. He loves this racetrack.
It's a good day for Justin Allgaier. I mean, every now and then people have cars that are great. The next week they're not so great. Today he's got a great car.
The battle for 14th on the right side of the screen as you see what's going on also on the left side. This has been the trend that we've seen so far, guys. We've been at Daytona. We've been also, you know, to the 2-mile track out at California. This is our first 1.5 miles, and we're seeing a lot of good passing throughout the top 20.
Yeah, I'm looking at this last round of pit stops. Justin Allgaier is the top running car that took 4 tires that last time. You saw a lot of these front runners take 2 tires. That could come into play if we have a long run.
I started saying, I was watching some of these cars that took 2 tires. They're definitely don't look near as good as they did before. So the 4s are definitely faster.
Denny Hamlin, this 20 car, also took 4 tires.
Well, let's get an update on the 12 car, Dave Burns.
And think about this as Hamlin closes in on Allgaier now. Earlier, a slow pit stop, and Allgaier had to pass his way back to the front of the field. And now the decision to take 4. Again, passing maybe more cars today than anybody else. But that last decision, the 4 tires, may be the one that really pays off.
Well, he is closing down quickly on Paul Menard, and that is for 6th on the track. The battle for 3rd is heating up. Vickers and Harvick. We go on board with Kevin. Here goes Denny underneath the 12. Again, we've got passing on 2 different spots on the track, all within the top 10. Great action here at Las Vegas. Vickers holds off Harvick for 3rd, but the other 2 are side by side for 7th.
Like I said, every one of these guys want to try to get every spot they can. You can see Denny Hamlin slips just a little bit, and Allgaier gets a spot.
Well, it also
Harvick
allowed Menard to sort of pull away from both of them.
See Harvick really working Vickers over now. Looks like he's going to get it.
So now Kevin Harvick gets back into the 3rd position. He is 1.7 seconds behind our race leader, Carl Edwards. Edwards leads Kyle Busch by 0.8 of a second. That's why we're showing you this action, because this is the best battles we've got on the racetrack.
See if we get a clear time on Kevin Harvick's 33 right here compared to Carl Edwards, the leader.
Brad Keselowski, and he gives a little gesture out the side because he got around the 32. And again, here we see as the run continues, that car seems to dial in the longer the run goes.
You see now this 12 car of Allgaier working over Paul Menard.
He has caught back up to Paul. This is for 6th on the racetrack, and Denny Hamlin's trying to pick, okay, which guy am I going to go with? And right now he's saying, okay, Paul, it looks like it might be you. Might have been a bad choice. Allgaier clears the 98. Here comes Hamlin around. And again, as the longer this run goes, I think maybe that 4-tire deal is really going to pay some dividends.
Yeah, it should start coming into play if they have that run all the way on a fuel tank run. But these 2 cars, the 12 and the 20, should have a little better, definitely have better tires, and whether it'll be speed, we'll see.
That battle sort of settled down now, as you can see those three, and Allgaier trying to open up some room between he and the 20 of Denny Hamlin. There is your race leader going past into turn number 3. Edwards lead now up to 9/10 of a second. Go back a little further in the pack, and then you could see the 38 of Jason Leffler. That's with Biffle for 13th position.
Those guys were 3 wide off of turn 2 just then. And here's stuck somehow.
Well, and here's Brendan Gaughan side by side with Stephen Wallace. And remember, Brendan did not pit, so those older tires are starting to haunt him right now as he has dropped back from the race lead. He is right now in 11th and under attack.
Well, Brendan had that fender damage on the left front. He pretty well had to stay out and do what he did to maintain that track position. These guys are all setting up for this last pit stop, which is going to be the money stop for sure.
Well, and Biffle, the big surprise, I think, right now is I think all of us thought the way Biffle was running earlier, he'd be higher up in the mix, although he goes on the high side to get around and makes a nice pass. Here comes Trevor Bayne to do it as well.
Whoa,
and look out. Nice recovery by the 62 of Gaughan.
Tell you what, this 3 wide stuff, Andy, off of turn 4, I'm not sure that's going to cut it. They've been doing it off of turn 2 also, and hey, you know as well as I do, these cars get wicked loose when they get in those positions.
Like we talked about, the tire combinations made the cars drive better, and they've been able to control them a little more. And you see that right there. They make a little contact, and they're still able to maintain control.
See Jason Leffler right there in a 38 car. He's been one of the nationwide regulars, nationwide insurance regular drivers that have been here year after year, having another solid run today, gaining points. We talked about at the end of race 5, this guy's got to be in the top 30. Can't afford any blown motors or stuff like that to jeopardize that.
And Carl Edwards, you know, he gets the lead off pit road, and we saw Kyle Busch just take off and pull like 3 seconds on the field, but now that he has to follow Carl Edwards, he's not as fast as he was.
Kyle's had that clean air the whole time where he's had that car up front, good downforce on the front fenders, makes these cars turn good, and now Carl's got it on those 2 tires, and that is really key. Vince, got more on Carl?
Well, you know, it's interesting with this crew chief change that was made with this team. Mike Kelly moving on to be the director of competition for the Nationwide Series, and Drew Blickensderfer going on top of the box as Carl's crew chief. Drew said that he thought there might be a little transition for him personally because it's been a year or so since he's worked on these race cars, but he and Mike Kelly are such good friends. Kelly has helped with this transition, and I just saw Mike a few moments ago behind the pit box of the 60, and he gave a sly smile. Blickensderfer may be on top of the box, but there's no doubt about it. It's a tag team effort for Mike Kelly and Drew Blickensderfer for this 60 today.
Well, in the 19 prior races, as you see, that is Paul Menard with Brian Scott. That is for 8th position. Let's put a period on that because in 19 races that those two have been together, Blickensderfer and Carl Edwards, 14 top 10s, 13 top 5s, and 7 wins.
See Trevor Bayne on the outside and left-hand side of your screen getting around Leffler. He's got a good run going on. Today I've been really impressed, Andy, how these young guys have been really minding their P's and Q's out here. Really nobody putting herself in tight positions. Been a clean race so far.
Yeah, if you look at that 99, Trevor Bayne, he doesn't have a lot of experience, but he races with a lot of poise out there. I have been impressed with him and some of these other young guys that they really race a lot higher level than you think that their experience would have them racing.
And a huge disappointment for Trevor. Daytona, the first race of the year, 7 laps in the race, in the wall, lost a lot of points. Talk about a disappointment, but he's making up for it today.
Yeah, Daytona was definitely not his fault, and he handled that situation very well. Very mature guy.
Look at the battle for 8th place. Brian Scott, I'll tell you, this rookie has been very impressive early in the season. The 98. Oh, he goes around.
Man,
did you see the sparks as he hits the wall?
Yeah, it looks like he got on that apron.
You come on down pit road.
I'm wondering if something broke. Did you see the sparks?
No, it looked like he may have gotten against that, got on that apron right there.
Yeah, he was pinching you, bud.
He was 9th at the time of the crash.
Take a look at it here.
And a tough break for Brian Scott. Now remember, he had that broken hand from last August in the truck race, and he's about to get it worked on again. Here's a replay.
And you can see right here, just right. He doesn't actually catch the apron. Looks like he's just in that zone where you get so loose underneath the car. Paul didn't give him a lot of room, but hey, it's racing.
Yeah, well, Paul didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. Nope. And Brian was all the way to the bottom of the track. Let's watch this again on the white line. See, he just gets loose right there, and then he has no room to let the car slide up, walk it up the track, I call it, and around he goes.
Unfortunately, that's not a walk.